Good evening, everybody, and thanks for coming out. It's not usually this warm in this room. It's usually warmer. So in the winter, when the heat's on, that we have one big heating system that's either heat or air. In the summer, you can come here and cool off because you can see your breath in this room. So in the winter, it's very warm. We're trying to figure that out. Lower that for me, okay? So for those of you I don't know, I'm Gary Catronbone. I'm the mayor here in Delran. It's great to see Councilman Lynn Jenny and his wife here too, supporting us. So here's what's happening. They came to, Solar Landscape came to us in 21, was it 21? January 2021, and said, would you be interested in doing this? And I said, can they, is there any commitment? Nobody wants to be forced into anything. So if it's any of that, then no. And they said, no, it's not. You need to listen to it. I did. I was very impressed with what happened. I signed up. After everybody signed up, I said, any spots left? Because I don't want to jump the line because I'll get in trouble. And I signed up, and it's been ongoing. I see the savings every month. I think it's even more savings this time. So I want to maybe convert. No, I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. So it's been a great program, and it's an opt-in only. There's no commitment. So I'll let them explain it to you. I want to thank you all. This is probably the best turnout we've ever had here for one of these meetings. So and none of you look mad at me. So that's a good thing. That's a good thing. So without any further ado, you don't need to hear me talk. We need to hear Jen talk from Solar Landscape. Jen.
Thank you, Mayor. Thank you, everyone. Can you hear me okay? Wonderful. Thank you again to the Mayor and Council and to the Delran Green team. They're a fantastic group of volunteers. I myself used to run a green team in North Jersey, and I was an AmeriCorps member, so I know how much time and effort really goes into helping make Delran a more sustainable place, one action at a time, and community solar is a part of that. And it's an amazing program, a state program at that Delran, as the mayor mentioned, has embraced since 2021. So we're here tonight to share the latest update with you all. And my colleagues Elizabeth and Gina are here with me. I will walk you all through a bit how the program works. If you haven't heard of community solar before, you hopefully received this letter in the mail from the mayor. And there were some flyers handed out as well this evening by the green team in the front here. So if you didn't get one, please be sure to get one before you leave. And before I get started, I want to mention my colleagues Jean and Elizabeth and I will be helping folks enroll at the end of the evening that might want help enrolling in person. But you're always welcome, of course, to contact the phone number listed on the letter from the mayor. And we also have business cards up here and on the same flyer. So that's the number on here, 732-589-7529. So again, that's 732-589-7529. And these two wonderful women would be the ones answering the phone. You are not going to a 1-800 number. It's Solar Landscape answering, and we really want to make sure you have a positive experience. I know it's a newer program, so please don't hesitate, even beyond this evening, to reach out with any questions. So yeah, we'll get started. I first want to share a little bit, very briefly, about who we are, who is Solar Landscape. We're a New Jersey company that was started by two friends in Township in 2012, and it's grown to now be the leading New Jersey commercial and community solar developer in the state. We have over 200 New Jersey employees. While we're based in Asbury Park, New Jersey, we have projects and employees throughout the state, which we're really proud of. And we've received many accolades, such as the Governor's Excellence Award in Climate Change and Clean Air in 2021. We've received federal recognition through the U.S. Department of Energy for our Equitable Workforce Development Program for workforce training, among other accolades. So that's just to share that we've been doing community solar in New Jersey from the beginning of the program. While it is a newer program in the grand history of the state, we're proud to be the leader and be New Jersey based. So if you're wondering, that's great, Jen, but what actually is community solar? So I apologize for anyone listening online. I have a great graphic up here, but we can certainly post the slides. So the first step is that we, as a solar developer, apply to the Board of Public Utilities, who regulates the state program. Oop, did I get too close? To host a project on a rooftop or a landfill or brownfield. In the state community solar program, you can't put community solar projects on farmland or open space, which we absolutely don't want to. So it's a great thing how the state designed the program to take up the existing built environment that we already have. All of these warehouse or storage rooftops, and other developers specialize in landfill projects, for example. But we as Solar Landscape, we specialize in rooftop projects. So it's a great benefit to the businesses that we host our projects on, because we actually pay them an annual lease payment as a tenant on their rooftop. So that's the image here on the left. And once that project's approved and we have a lease to be on the rooftop of this private business in town, in the township, we then send the power back out to PSE&G. And we have to have interconnection approval, which means we get the okay to tie into the grid, put the power back out into the local grid. Not to say that the actual power lines have to flow directly from Delran Parkway, 601 Delran Parkway to your house. It just goes back into this big energy pool that PSE&G has. And then interested residents, such as all of you here this evening, or I hope you might be interested, are able to benefit from the project in the energy cost savings associated with the solar power, discounted solar power that's produced by our system. So ultimately, this is a private project. Solar Landscape owns the solar system. It's on a private property. In the case of the first Delran project, that's an endurance building. But because it's a state program and we're approved through the state community solar program and the power goes back out to PSE&G's grid, it has public benefit. So that's what we're here to talk about tonight, how all of you can actually sign up and benefit from this project. Because it was really created in the state's goal to not only advance the local renewable power generation we can have in our grid in New Jersey and create more jobs, but to also bring energy cost savings to those who need it, and especially those who can't go solar on their own roof, or whether they can't afford it, or they're a renter, or you would just prefer not to go solar on your own roof. So this isn't to dissuade anyone that might be considering going solar on their own roof if you do own your own home, but this is a great option for those who can't or don't want to. Community solar is for you. So this is a great example. This is one of our projects on a public storage facility. So you'll see that we have panels on all of the storage facilities located on this picture, and it can power homes in the community in the area. Not that the power lines are directly connecting, it's just in the big pool of energy. So this is to emphasize that we are not talking about solar panels on your actual home. They are not going on anyone's home. They're on the private business rooftop. So if you're wondering where the program started, it was thanks to state legislation, the Clean Energy Act of 2018. And the goal, as I mentioned, is really to reduce electricity costs, bring cleaner air in the community with less dirtier power generation needed, access to everyone, whether you rent or own your home, and local workforce development. We do robust programming. We renamed it the Step Up program, where we do trainings throughout the state for those interested in solar panel installation careers. And I'm proud to say that we've made great strides as a state and as a company in reaching these goals. And I know it's a little hard to see, but I just wanted to share a brief history of the program as a whole. So since it was enacted through legislation in 2018, the state announced that they would run 3 pilot years where they would test the program, see if it goes successfully. And I'm happy to share that the first 2 years of the pilot program went so successfully that the state opted to forego a third pilot program, and they instead jumped to enacting a permanent community solar program. So back in January 2021, as the mayor and Deb mentioned, the Mayor Canterbone and council supported our application for the first Delran Community Solar Project at 601 Delran Parkway. And then most recently, this past year, The mayor and council also supported 3 additional Delran businesses to be host sites for community solar projects in the BPU's permanent community solar program, that is, and they were awarded. And in 2021, I skipped a bit on this timeline here. That was the first time that the mayor and green team were able to share information with residents of Delran that this was an opportunity available to them if they were interested for savings, thanks to that first project that we planned back in 2021. So we're really excited that fast forward a few years, we're able to bring additional capacity or the opportunity to sign up for even more residents, because the very first project had limited space, and that project is fully subscribed to. But we're excited to share a few updates to the permanent community solar program in the state. The number one update is that currently, everyone fingers crossed, the state is on schedule by direction of the BPU. Each utility that's in the program, including PSE&G, will implement what's known as utility consolidated billing. So what that means is, right now, we have a dual billing program for community solar, but once consolidated billing is implemented, you will just see the final net savings deduction on your PSE&G bill. Gina will go into what dual billing versus consolidated billing means a bit later on when we're talking about the enrollment process, but that's an exciting update that we're looking towards. And thank PSE&G and the BPU for their advocacy to move that forward, because it'll make this a lot easier for folks to understand. The second update is that I should take a step back. So each project that is built in the state, each community solar project, 51% of its capacity is reserved for low to moderate income households. So when you go through the enrollment process, it'll now be a self-attestation. So you can self-attest when prompted by the state's guidelines if you meet the household income limits. So it's 80% area median income for Burlington County. That's set by HUD annually. So the 2024, and this is noted in a chart on the letter that went to your household in the bottom half. So you'll see if you're a one-person household and you currently make less than $64,250 annually, you qualify as low to moderate income. So, right, that captures the highest in the moderate scale. If you identify your household as meeting that income limit, or if you participate in one of the qualifying programs that's listed here on the screen, for example, Medicaid and LIHEAP, an energy assistance program, and those will also be called out and listed when you're going through the enrollment process. But just wanted to share a high-level example of some major updates for the better to the state community solar program moving forward. And I'm excited to share this beautiful sunny photo of our completed 601 Delran Parkway project. So this is the project that the mayor and council supported back in 2021. And this Delran business, Endurance Property Group, is receiving an annual lease payment from us because we're a tenant on their rooftop. So we're not powering the Endurance property directly. We're putting that power, it's almost picture a football field of solar, going back out into the PSE&G grid. So Gina, I think if you click once more, it'll have, this is some nice Anyway, it's a nice drone footage. I don't know if anyone here tonight, their home might be in the far background, but this is a beautiful example of one of our completed projects, and we're hopeful that we might be able to bring the mayor and council and green team to tour our next completed project. This is something that they were awarded at the Sustainable Jersey Summit last year. I promise I haven't forgotten. So look out for some great photos of your mayor and council and green team on the next rooftop of one of the approved community solar projects. So this is the perfect example of the solar panels are on a rooftop on a business in town. They're not on your home. You can remotely subscribe to this project or sign up for this project and remotely see the crediting on your PSE&G bill. One of the handouts we gave out tonight was a great article this past June with the Philadelphia Inquirer, And it really had a nice highlight of how many folks in New Jersey have saved thanks to exactly an example with this Delran project. I think the one featured here is in Pennsauken. But so it's just reiterating the thanks to Delran for being a leader in this regard so that more residents can save on their electricity bill and that there is more to come. So if you didn't receive this article tonight, I have a nice PDF of it, but there's also the link inquirer.com/real estate commercial New Jersey warehouse solar panels if you put it into your search bar on Google if you're listening in from home. Without further ado, excited to announce that the 3 new community solar projects coming to Delran that were approved by the New Jersey Board of Public Utilities are located fairly close to each other. One is a Taurus building at 600 Delran Parkway. Another is a North Bridge building at 701 Delran Parkway. And the other is a public storage facility, so a few rooftops at 4001 Route 130. So all 3 of these will be built in the coming year. The first 2 that we expect to be completed will be the 600 and 701 Delran Parkway projects. So as we noted in this letter, as a group, the projects will be completed in early 2025. So when you are signing up now, it's reserving your space on these projects because enrollments are accepted on a first-come, first-served basis. So that means not only Delran residents can enroll, residents from the neighboring communities also can. And as of January, or with the permanent program, folks can enroll to these projects throughout PSE&G's territory. So that's exactly why the mayor and council and green team and us wanted to, as these are local Delran projects, get the word out first to Delran residents. So when you sign up now, you shouldn't expect to start seeing savings tomorrow or in a month or 2. It is reserving your spot now, and you'll start to see the savings in early 2025. So that's early winter or mid to late spring, depending on the construction schedule. As you can imagine, that can fluctuate. We might have a really snowy winter, and things can get a little behind, but these projects are going to be built in the new year, in 2025. And again, I just showed here, this is the second letter that was notifying residents of the energy cost savings opportunity, thanks to the mayor and council. And it also has QR codes on it where you can scan directly to the Delran Community Solar Enrollment page in English and Spanish. And that phone number that I shared earlier, Gina and Elizabeth are able to help folks that speak Spanish as a first language as well. And we also have a Turkish translation on here, and Gina can share as well. We'll be able to help any folks that call in Turkish. And I will now turn it over to my colleague Gina, who will go through step by step how you're able to enroll. And then we're going to hear a resident testimonial, their experience thus far, and we'll take questions after that. Thank you.
Hello. She's a little taller than I am. Okay, so the first step to enroll would be to go on solarlandscape.com /New Jersey /Delran. There would have an FAQ portion. Also, if you have any questions or if your neighbors were interested and couldn't make it to the session, they'd be able to see the FAQs there as well. You would hit the Enroll Now button. Then you'd fill out a form that has your name, your address, your email address, and at the very bottom, it has an invite code section where you just have to make sure it actually has GTDELRAN. With our partner our municipalities that are partners, we give them an invite code so we can give them priority on our projects for our higher discounted projects. Then you would put your PSE&G account number, then hit next step. And then here's where we have the verification of your income. You would just select your county, and then you'd have household occupancy. You'd put 1, 2, 3, and then it'll automatically populate a number depending on your household size. And you would hit, if you are below that number, you'd hit yes, and then you just go to next step. But if you hit no, another section will come up saying, are you a part of any of these other programs, state programs, like before mentioned, like Medicaid, LIHEAP, and you'd hit next step. Then, because consolidated billing is happening in January, hopefully, right now we still are requiring a payment method for our dual bill system. The way it would work is on your PSC&G bill, you would see 100% of your allocation deducted from your PSC&G bill and receive a separate bill from the community solar program at at least 25% savings. We have projects turning on that are at a 31 or 36% savings as well. And an example would be, let's say if your PSC&G bill was $120 and we were able to allocate $100 of community solar credit to your account, you would see on your PSC&G bill $100 subtracted from the community solar credit, so you're only paying PSC&G $20. Then you'd receive a second bill under solar landscape with $100 credit minus the 26% saving or 25% savings or 31, 36, depending on which project you are on. And then you're only paying the remaining amount. So what we do is any energy that we give you from our projects, we charge it at the exact same rate as PSC&G. So you're never paying more for that. And then we will discount the savings for any of the energy that we provide you. So you're never paying more for your electricity. You're guaranteed a savings. And there's no monthly cost to be part of this program. There's no cost to enroll, no cost to cancel. It's a month to month. So if you had to move or for whatever reason, you are able to get out of the program. You just call us up and let us know. And then the next step would be just verifying the entire step, like everything that you put in. You're signing your name at the bottom. And then you get an email sent to you within that same day letting you know you are now enrolled into the program. If we need anything else, we'll send you an email. But for the time being, you would just be waiting until you get energy reserved to your PSC&G account. Now, like mentioned before, our spots currently for the Delran projects have been filled up in the past. So any of your enrollments would actually most likely just be a part of our permanent projects, which are set to turn on in late winter anyways. So you guys most likely will not ever experience that dual billing system and would just see your savings deducted from your PSC&G bill. But because it's still not fully implemented, we still are requiring that. But you most likely will not have to see any charges on your payment method. But again, if you do, you'd be able to just compare it to your PSC&G bill and see that you're only ever charged a guaranteed discount off of whatever's taken off of your PSC&G bill. Now we're going to have a testimonial from Deb Hammond.
Good evening. I'm Deb Hammond. I'm the chair of the Delran Green Team, and I want to say that the mayor and council in 2021 was very forward-thinking when they connected with Solar Landscape and decided they wanted to do this pilot program. And of course, they said to Solar Landscape, you got to loop in the Green Team. They'll help you get this project going, which we did. My family enrolled for March 2023. We started accruing our benefits. I do not do the bills, so I can't really say. But my house, we've saved $864 since like March 23. I'm going to say, and that's because solar is one of those things that when you've got big sunny days, you got a really big pie. When it gets cloudy and dark earlier, the amount of solar power they're generating goes down, so the allocation. So it is not always the same allocation every month, the credit that you would see every month. But it is reliable. You do get a credit. And I guess I would wrap it in with, there's only two reasons not to do it. The first reason is you have solar on your roof. The second reason is you just like giving PSC&G extra money. So, it's up to you. I mean, based on what you heard tonight, how many people are going to sign up? All right. Yeah, no, I'm done. I don't, that's just one that I know the answer is no. Yeah. You want to do anything else?
So it actually would be on a case-by-case basis. Your utility will tell us if you have enough historical usage in order to be part of the program. You have to have at least 1,000 kilowatt hours on an annual basis to be able to be a part of the program, and that is very low. So the average household in New Jersey uses 8,200 kilowatt hours annually. So that just means your solar system is producing enough energy for you to basically pay maybe $10 to your PSE&G account in terms of your supply. So typically, in terms of money, if you have a solar system to your home and you're paying at least $25 monthly for your supply, you would most likely, your utility would allow you to be a part of the program. But if you historically don't use 1,000 kilowatt hours a year, your utility just won't let you be a part of the program. That's it.
It's using, if you need to use PSE&G's additional power beyond what you're using, Gina means that 1,000 kilowatts. But again, we wanted to leave the most of the time tonight for questions. So please, everyone, feel free to raise your hand and we'll try to get to everyone. Oh.
Can you restate the question into the microphone?
Oh, sure thing. The question that Gina just answered was if you can still enroll even if you have your own solar power on your rooftop, that you own your solar or you lease your solar on your rooftop.
Regards to this durability system. There's going to be savings from the kilowatt hours, and there's going to be charges from you folks to use the system.
So the question was about, do you want to go for it?
And if it goes away because of public service accepting your plan, is there a charge for using this?
No, there is never a monthly, oh, sorry, I'll restate the question. Is there a charge for using this program? And just maybe elaborating more on the dual bill system. So there is never an additional charge for you to be a part of this program. The way it would work is that, hold on, I'm just gonna, yeah, there you go. The way it would work is any energy we're able to provide to your PSE&G account just gets overall on the dual bill system subtracted from your PSE&G bill. And that is just subtracted based on a dollar for dollar. So whatever PSE&G is charging for their electricity, we will charge for our solar energy the same amount, even if it's fluctuating, even if it goes up or down, that month's usage, whatever PSE&G is charging for the energy, we'll give you clean energy at the same rate. And then on a separate bill, after it's deducted from your PSE&G bill, on the dual bill system, you would receive that energy minus the 26% discount or 31%, whatever project you're on. And then you're just paying the remaining balance, but you're always guaranteed to save. So then once consolidated bill comes, maybe on that previous example, you're saving $31 off of your second dual bill system, but on a consolidated system, you're just seeing a net savings of minus $31 from the community solar credit. And you're never paying anything additional. You're only ever paying what we are able to allocate to you at the same price as PSE&G minus the guaranteed savings.
The problem is that PSE&G only has one discount rate, which is 100% right now. So they give you 100% credit for your community solar, and that's why the dual billing will say that 100%, whatever that value is, if it's $100, they will calculate the discount, which let's assume it's 25%, you would pay $75 of the $100. But PSE&G took off $100. That's the problem. They have to go in and change the 100% to whatever your discount rate is project by project. And every project has a different discount rate.
Yeah, sorry about that if I didn't explain it that well the first time. What my coworker just told me, another way to explain it is that in consolidated billing, PSE&G is the one that's going to pay us the additional amount for the community solar credit. So you're only ever seeing savings instead of on that dual bill system where you're paying for your energy after the discount. So that's how it would work.
everybody else that's trying to, want to be on one of these other public projects to be built.
So the first couple of years, including right now, that's why you have to have that dual bill system when enrolling. It's on that dual bill system. So anyone who enrolled in the past had that dual bill. Now in January, everyone, including people who were enrolled in the past couple of years, are going to have the consolidated billing. So they'll just see it on there. Mhm.
On the system that's already running, which they probably run near capacity. Obviously, it's a building for more.
That's correct. Yeah, we're all completely, fully subscribed on the other projects, and now we're only reserving spots for future projects that are turning on, which would be first come, first serve.
And just to add, you don't have to worry about, when you're enrolling, you don't have to worry about picking a project or anything. We just wanted to share more detail where these projects are being built. That's on our end to assign you to a project. And it is on a first come, first served basis. So as you mentioned, that the current project we have at 701 Delran Parkway, that is completely full. All the folks in Delran and neighboring communities that are on that project are currently saving, as Deb mentioned and the mayor mentioned, they're saving since they signed up in the past. So when you're enrolling tonight, yes, you're going to be signed up for one of these new projects.
Is this project just as big as the first project? Since you said each one's on a different basis, are they all comparable, or is there going to be a bigger one next time where the third time is going to be making more money than the first time?
So the question was about the actual project sizes. So as you can see here, the public storage project is a bit smaller, so it'll have less solar panels producing a little less power than the larger 600 Delran Parkway project. But to answer your question, everyone will be guaranteed at least the 25% savings discount rate, and that's locked in for the life of the project. The savings are tied to each project. So when Deb was mentioning before that the actual credit can fluctuate depending how sunny it is, that doesn't change the discount that's applied. That savings rate is locked in, and you're always guaranteed to have savings. Let's say the sun stops shining one day and we produce no power, which is highly unlikely. I think we'd have more environmental problems, but you would stay a PSE&G customer as normal. You still receive your electricity. Being enrolled to this project doesn't change that you are a PSE&G customer, and they're the ones operating all the infrastructure. I just wanted to highlight that since that's another common question we get to piggyback off what you shared. So we own the we own the solar system, right? The question was, what happens if this company moves or sells or something along those lines? When we have a lease agreement to be a tenant on their rooftop, they have to assign over site control where we have a long-term lease. The project is approved by the Board of Public Utilities for 20 years. So we have a 20-year long-term lease to be on that rooftop. So even if that building owner becomes a completely different building owner, it will still be our solar system that we are producing the power for and we're maintaining. So we are completely vested in making sure that this system is running and continues to. We own it. But I will just mention, just for everyone, I know, especially if you're sitting in the front, you can't see in the back, but the green team is now walking around with a microphone. So if you're handed the microphone, we'll go with your question next so we can try to get to everyone this evening.
Okay, hi. My name's Tim. I live on Waterford Drive. The payment source, credit card, bank account, what kind of payment source are you looking for?
It could be debit card, credit card, or ACH. Again, if you use a credit card, there's no additional fees for anything, including using a credit card.
Okay. What if you're on budget billing?
So budget billing is an interesting question. In the past with dual bill systems, it looked a little funky. Overall, you're always guaranteed savings versus budget bill where you don't actually save. You just get to know how much you're paying each month. And at the end, you have that true up period. Starting with consolidated billing, we expect it to just be subtracted from your budget bill amount.
Okay, so I really don't have to make any changes with PSE&G. They'll automatically take out whatever gets shifted over to community solar. And the budget billing will just be revised or something.
In consolidated billing.
Okay.
And then if you were to get maybe one dual bill, you would just pay that to Solar Landscape. And then at the end of the year, the true-up period, you'll see you're guaranteed that savings. Mhm.
Okay, thank you. That's it.
Will there have to be any changes to our electrical or heater system if we sign up for this?
No, there's nothing that you need to do to change in your actual home. We just feed the energy directly to PSE&G, and by enrolling, you're just telling PSE&G to allocate you that credit. That's it.
I guess we can try to go around the room evenly. We'll try to reach everyone.
Oh, yeah, here in front.
We'll just keep trying to go clockwise. But
Hi. Years ago, my wife and I subscribed to a program where PSE&G tacked onto our bill like $15 or $20 a month to subsidize alternative energy like wind, solar, whatever. So I assume these projects are self-funded, and what's happening with our bill has nothing to do with the funding of the projects to build the solar arrays.
Right, so that sounds like you were on third-party energy, which is separate from community solar. So you're always guaranteed to have a savings. You'll pay it's the same kilowatt percent bill credit rate, to get a little detailed, that you would normally be paying, and the savings is on top of that. So unlike third-party energy, it's never going to fluctuate and be more than it would have normally been. We are able to build these projects thanks to state and federal tax incentives and encouraging renewable energy projects. When you're enrolling to these community solar projects, you see they're right here in Delran, benefiting the businesses and local residents. It's not as if you're paying in a third-party supply program where you might be buying credits from a wind farm in Iowa. This is hyper-local. We own the projects, and it's guaranteed to be a savings. So that's the short answer of how community solar is different than third-party energy. And the guaranteed savings is by state regulation. So not only are we promising it, that is the state rule. Yeah.
So then with third party, with Clean Choice, what you're doing is you're buying your energy at a specific rate. Typically, you'll sign a contract saying for a year, you'll pay a specific amount, and then you end up paying more than what PSE&G is actually charging because PSE&G's rates fluctuate. Through this program, the state wanted to make sure everyone can actually save and benefit from this program, not just through clean energy, but actual financial savings. So again, we do make sure to match that energy at the same price as PSE&G. As it's fluctuate, we're always selling our energy at the same price, then subtracting that guaranteed discount, making sure you never pay anything additional.
Again, did I understand that once all the projects are completed, that it would become like a consolidated discount for people among all the projects then? Or you would just get the discount from that individual project that you're on?
Yeah, it would be as soon as consolidated billing happens throughout the state, which we expect to be, like she mentioned, sometime in the winter, late winter. You would just see it automatically on your PSE&G bill, no matter which project you're on, whether that was in previous years or a different project.
I think what you're asking also, the consolidated billing, what we're talking about, when we say the word consolidated, we mean your billing experience. We're not talking about consolidating all these projects together. They're all individual projects.
So I pay two bills right now. One bill.
Right, so, yes, so the 600 Delran Parkway project, when we applied to the Board of Public Utilities, we applied with the discount associated with this project, and that'll stay that discount for 20 years. Let's say you're not living in your home for 20 years and you'd like to cancel, you're moving to a new home in Delran, let's say, you can either request to move that subscription with you to your new home once you set up your PSE&G account, or you can cancel at any time by reaching out to us, as Gina mentioned.
Yeah, Charles Burnside,
Oh, sorry, I couldn't see where the microphone was.
I pay with my checking account right now because there's no extra fee like there is on your credit card. I'm on the budget and it comes right out of my checking. But now I'll have 2 bills instead of one. It's going to confuse it.
So you're still going to want to pay PSE&G. That doesn't change, and you can keep your checking account assigned with PSE&G. But when you're signing up for community solar currently, that's where you can opt to add your credit card payment, and there's no fee with your credit card. We expect currently that Delran residents, when they're enrolling to these projects, will be on consolidated billing and only ever have to pay PSE&G. But what we're just trying to be transparent that there is a possibility that it gets delayed and it's not implemented exactly on time. So there could be 1 to 2 billing cycles in the new year that you experience this dual billing that early adopters of this program have been experiencing. So you can still pay PSE&G as normal with your checking account, and then you can pay Solar Landscape for the deducted community solar credit for the amount of power you're using with your credit card. So that doesn't have to change. And just to reiterate, when we're talking about consolidated billing where you see the net savings, it's that instead of having the dual bill where you as the resident has to pay Solar Landscape or any other solar developer in the community solar program for your discounted portion, PSE&G is remitting that payment to us on your behalf instead. So you're always paying for the power that you're actually using, and it's guaranteed to be a discount. I know it's a bit confusing, and that's why we advocated, along with many of our community and nonprofit partners and other stakeholders throughout the state, to implement this easier billing experience.
Jim, when we're all done, how many
At least a few hundred. I can't remember the exact number off the top of my head of exactly how many each of these 3 projects will serve, but I know the number is in the hundreds. Not 1,000. Usually, let's say a 5 megawatt project, like a really large warehouse, like we saw earlier, that can serve about 800 households. It depends on also how much energy a household uses. Let's say everyone that signs up for the first projects, they use a ton of power. We serve less households then because we're trying to right size their allocation based on how much their household uses. So I know, let's say if you live in a mother-daughter and your energy bill is really, really high, you're going to be a high energy user with the project. But if you are one person in an apartment, you might use a lot less. So the number of households we can serve is based on our estimate of how much an average household uses, as Gina mentioned. So we can always share those numbers. But I think, Gina, you found the current project serves just about 100 households.
I have another question. What you keep using the term lifetime of the project. Can you explain more about what is the lifetime of a project? What happens at the end? So suppose we're done paying for you putting together the projects. Does that mean my discount's going to go away at that point? That that piece of the bill's not being paid anymore? What happens to the discount?
So we're paying for the project. The only thing you're paying for is the power that you're using. And the lifetime of the project by the state program right now is 20 years. There's a chance in 20 years we might be able to re-up the amount of years if it's approved by the state. We haven't gotten there just yet, but you would go back to paying your normal rate with PSE&G, and you wouldn't have to take any action to do that. Hopefully, we'll continuously have new projects. So in 20 years, you'd be able to sign up for a new community solar project, or you would just go back to paying the same rate to PSE&G as you had been in 2024.
So you say these are just on rooftops. What about the solar that's all over our schools and everything? Where's that power and all that money going towards and to?
So if there's a rooftop solar project on a school, that's usually powering the school's own power usage, and they're the ones either owning that project or they have what's called a power purchase agreement. But that's usually for whomever. Traditional solar, up until the state passed this new law for community solar a few years ago, it always was powering the user within the building. So to put it in technical terms, if anyone wanted to look into it further, it's called behind the meter, when it's powering the user in the building. What we're doing with community solar is front of the meter. So instead of powering the building itself, we are putting the power back out into the grid for others to benefit from. Oh, sorry.
Hi, my name is Tony. I'm not completely understanding how the metering would work on this. Just how you just described if I was an independent operator where I'm behind the meter. So can you explain that to me? You know, how that would work? Because the more meters that, you know, that are put out, you know, throughout Delran, I'm saying for house to house or new developments. So how do you divide that metering up and justify the cost?
So when I'm talking about, because the question that was asked was, what about all the other solar projects you see that aren't the ones we're discussing tonight in town? Those are privately owned by others using power. So when we're talking about behind the meter, that's if the Smith household wanted to have solar on their own rooftop, and the meter, their electric meter, would see about how much power they're using, and hopefully the solar that's on their roof can offset that amount. So community solar is different, where that's not something you have to worry about. We're producing the power on a separate private facility. With these community solar projects, we're not powering these buildings themselves. So we get approval from PSE&G for interconnection, and we're putting the power back out in coordination with PSE&G into the grid. So you can't, sorry, go ahead.
I think I understand a little bit more what you're asking. If we have, first of all, the only residential accounts can actually enroll into these programs. So if a giant complex wanted, yeah, no, that's right. It's created specifically for residential accounts to be a part of it.
Sorry, I misunderstood your question. Okay. Yes, so I myself am a renter, and I'm enrolled to one of our community solar projects. You just need to be the one paying your PSE&G bill, whomever that account is in the name of, they're able to enroll for the program.
You're a part of another solar farm? Got it. Okay, so you're asking if you're already on a solar farm, how can you be a part of this community solar farm in Delran? You might not have to, I mean, it really is first come, first serve for any of our projects. Like we mentioned before, any project that turns on will actually be able to service anyone in PSC&G. So that's why spots are really limited. In PSC&G total, all of our projects will service around 5,600 households approximately. If you're on a project and you use that GTDELRAN invite code, you get that minimum 25% discount guaranteed. Other projects in PSC&G vary, like she mentioned before, 15. So 15% is like the lowest discount out there. So with that invite code, you can get that higher discount. If you're interested in getting the higher discount, if you're on a project that has a lower discount, you can feel free to call me, and I would be able to tell you if we're able to put you connected to that GTDELRAN invite code for that higher discount savings.
Here and then here.
If you get help from the Universal Service Fund, is that going to affect this?
No, it would not. So this works with any other state program. So you're able to just see it again deducted as savings. So it works perfectly. It's another energy assistance program. And actually, that's a qualifying program to be considered low to moderate income. So it would just help you more to get a priority on the project, since 51% of the project has to go for people who are low to moderate income.
Yes. What if the household income exceeds the limit?
I would just say to enroll sooner rather than later, because we give that priority to 51% of the project having to be, meaning the other 49% fills up very quickly, but you can enroll into the program. Anyone can enroll as long as there's a space available for people who are not low to moderate income.
And then as far as the billing goes, of course, you would pay PSE&G, and then you would also pay solar energy.
Yeah, you would pay Solar Landscape for the discounted energy that was given to you, and it was also discounted off of your PSE&G bill, and that's on the dual bill system. Once we have that consolidated bill system, you're only paying PSE&G.
Wait a minute, just explain again about the billing for Solar Landscape. Explain that part again.
Yeah, so right now when you enroll, it's going to ask for a payment method, and that's because we are on a dual bill system. Any energy that we're able to put onto your account gets deducted off of your PSE&G bill. And then you're just paying like their service charge, delivery supply, or the delivery charge, and gas. And then you pay the remaining amount on a separate bill that comes in with a community solar credit at a guaranteed discount at no additional fees. Mm-hmm.
And before we get to the next question, I do see some folks are filing out. So if you have any further questions, of course, the phone number and email on there will go to Gina and Elizabeth. So if you have to head out, that's all right, but we're here to keep answering questions beyond this evening.
Hi, this is I'm Alex. I had a question. You said that to sign up, there's no fees or anything like that. I also heard you saying about income-based stuff. Could you explain that again? Like, if you only make below a certain income, you're allowed to sign up, or what was that again?
Yeah, 51% of our project has to go to low to moderate income households, but the remaining amount can be a part of the program. So if you make more than what would qualify as low to moderate income, I would just say to enroll sooner rather than later, because those spots fill up quicker. Taxable. Mm-hmm. Yeah, taxable income. Mm-hmm.
Hi, I was just curious about the installation process for your projects. Does the company actually do that part, or how does the labor work?
Yes, so we have Solar Landscape employees that are foremen and installers and actually install the projects. We also hire folks through our workforce training program. And in New Jersey, any projects that we're not building in-house with our staff, we contract with the New Jersey IBEW for those projects. And that's with each local. That is correct. It's just to reserve your space on the project. Of course, if you're not comfortable, you don't have to enroll, and you can wait until it's fully implemented with consolidated billing in the new year. We just can't guarantee that the space on these projects would still be available, since it's on a first come, first served basis, but that is correct. You will not receive any bill whatsoever from Solar Landscape until the project is actually producing power and it's assigned to you and your household account with PSE&G.
You won't pay anything unless you see a community solar credit discount off of your PSE&G bill. So You don't have to worry about your payment method being charged at all until you're actually receiving allocation onto your PSE&G bill.
We'll try this.
We can repeat the question, it's all right.
For 100 credits or $100 or whatever it is. Okay. Now, that means you're going to bill us for 100 credits at the same rate, less 25%, correct? So if I save $100 with PS&G, how much are you going to bill me? $75? Is that right?
That's right.
That sounds too simple.
Yeah.
Now, how do you get that energy at a lower cost?
Because of state and federal tax incentives, we're able to do that. And
Okay.
this program requires us to give that higher discount in
So
order to
all-
get it approved.
Okay, so all your profits then are from that 25%. And that pays for the solar panels and whatever, your expenses, the people and the installation, everything.
Yeah, the tax incentives we get, as well as the energy we're still selling, but at that 75% value, we are able to make up the difference for the higher discount.
Okay, sounds simple.
So I agree, and again, this program was designed by the state legislature and the BPU to benefit consumers, New Jersey ratepayers, and the public utilities. So that's PSE&G, JCP&L, Atlantic City Electric, and Orange and Rockland. So residents in those utilities are able to benefit from this program. So it's thanks to not only the state, but also your local government that gives the A-OK for these local projects to be built and the jobs that come with it.
There's just 2 points hi everybody. There's just 2 points that I'd like to make for you because we got a little wrapped up on details and consolidated billing and stuff. Here's the way it works for me. If let's say the electric part of my PSE&G bill is $100, then they'll take the $100 off, and the community solar will bill me $75. That's it. So that $25 or 25% is my savings. It makes it that easy right now. And will that apply to me too, the consolidated billing? Awesome. Because I'm always okay. Well, they'll get to it. The other thing that is important, it was in the letter, but a lot of people don't realize what's considered in Burlington County. Our district, I think, is the third District 3, I think. Either way, Burlington County, if there's a husband and wife, maybe, and one child, as 3 people in a household, your income limit is $82,600. So this is not, if you make $20,000 a year. This is pretty serious. If a family of 4, it's $91,750. Considered to be a moderate income. So a lot more people will qualify without even knowing that they qualify. So I wouldn't write that off. I would refer to the charts that they have. Is that chart in the sign up? It's been a while since I signed up. So it's just what I'm saying is don't discount that. And is that taxable income? Tax after the deductions, right? After all your deductions, what's your left? I have a small business too. I have a lot of deductions. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to hijack the meeting, but there was just 2 things that were very important. I don't. I should, but I don't. I do here, but not at home. Yeah.
Signed up in June of 2023. I have a tiny townhouse. My kids have left me all alone, and I've saved overall $266. I don't save as much as others because I don't use as much energy as other people, but I'm helping the environment and I'm saving money. There's no downside here.
I've saved 500. My wife is a purchasing agent. She's one of the most skeptical people in the whole entire world. And when my wife signed up for this, she put these people through hell until we started saving a lot of money. $500 is not a lot to sneeze at. It's better in my pocket than in PSE&G. It is a win-win situation.
And it's completely voluntary at that. So thank you everyone for sharing. And before we take the next question, I want to mention my colleagues, Gina and Elizabeth, will be up here to help folks if anyone wants help enrolling this evening, step by step or asking additional questions. But of course, we're there via phone and email as well.
If the rate goes, let's say $100 this month, and the price of electricity goes up to $150, $200, how does that affect that bill?
You're asking if PSE&G increases their rates, what would happen?
Whoever increases it, you know.
So we as Solar Landscape, we don't set your price per kilowatt. That is something that the PSE&G and the Board of Public Utilities sets and regulates. Our discount is applied to what PSE&G sets as the power charge rate.
So if
put
it
in a
goes
different
from
way.
$100 to $200, how does that affect the bill? What do we get out of that? Or how much do we lose on that?
What I think the question is, if the bill goes from $100 to $200, does the savings go from 25 to 50?
No.
Not percent, but dollars.
No, yeah, it would only be 25% of whatever PSE&G is charging for their rate.
So if they're charging me $200, it'd be 25% of $200.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So the $25,
Which would be more, yeah.
if they doubled the cost,
Mm-hmm.
I would save per kilowatt. I use right.
Mhm.
Right. So if the bill was $100, I would be paying 75. If the bill was $200, I would be paying,
150.
there you go, 150.
Mhm.
I said it, I just said it backwards.
Yeah.
Okay. So it's still the same percentage of savings, right?
Yeah.
This is good questions because I'm learning too, but I'm going to look at that bill tonight.
500 credits?
Yeah, so it's dollar for dollar. So if you use $500 worth
Yeah.
of kilowatt credits,
Yeah.
you would just get you'd get 25% savings off of that. Mhm. Right, yeah.
Reduced for PS&G, and you've been away for the same thing, but
Mhm.
25% less.
Mhm.
Okay.
Yeah, there's no limit as to how much your house can produce. Now, whatever we're able to allocate to your account, that's based on your historical usage. We will give that to you if we're able to produce it on our farms. And that's to say, even if it's a cloudy day, we still are able to generate solar energy. And for summer months, when we overproduce, we're able to roll over those credits for months that we're not producing as much. So we do our best to try to give you as much credits as possible to your account.
We'll take two more questions and then help folks up front.
Okay, I see that your 3 buildings there in Delran are different sizes. So you're saying you could possibly put 100 people on the big building, 75 on the medium building, and 50 in the smaller building, and everybody in Delran gets the same sort of bang for their buck? In theory?
Yeah, in theory. It depends on how much your account uses. Like we mentioned before, if you're in a townhouse, you're probably using a lot less. But yeah, if there's space in the project, you're able to save on your electricity. If there's not, we're just going to continue to build more projects each year and increase the spots for people to enroll. But again, first come, first serve. So if you're able to enroll, I would do so sooner rather than later.
Okay, thanks.
Here we go. I feel like Phil Donahue. You probably don't know who he is, but the rest of us do.
So my question is, you're saying this is a community project, right? So is there a limit or unlimited amount of people that can get involved in this? Because the more people that get involved in this, I don't know how a power company would make money. That's number one. Number two, if it's so good, why doesn't public service do this by itself?
Yeah, I'll do the first question, then she'll answer the second. It is limited. Every project has a limited capacity of how many people can enroll into the program.
Well, I think that should be explained at a higher level so everybody understands that, because it's a one-time thing, correct? So whoever gets involved in this first is going to benefit this.
That's right. And
And
then,
there's no regulatory against that going down the road.
nope, you're always going to get that guaranteed
So
savings.
where I'm going at is, why doesn't public service put this on their billing and invite this to everyone then?
So it is on their website as an opportunity. Our current projects are listed on PSE&G's website. They're also listed on the Board of Public Utilities website for folks to enroll, but it is voluntary. So it's something that you can find on their website currently. And they're going to.
Yeah, right, why
May
don't
I?
they put it on the billing though, so everyone can see it then? Not on the website, on their billing.
Say that one more time. Building or billing?
Their billing, when you get a bill, why can't they just say, hey, look, this is a program that might benefit the community as a whole?
That is a good suggestion. That's up to PSE&G. We can't direct what's on their bill, but I do know that the New Jersey Clean Energy Program does try to do a lot of outreach and education, just as we do as a solar developer. So I know, for example, I was recently at a Jets game. I know it's probably all Eagles fans here tonight. I'm sorry. We lost last night to the Steelers. I digress. The New Jersey Clean Energy Program was advertising there that evening, and I saw on the billboard, and there's other advertising that they do to try to get the word out, both on the radio and in other forms. We are all trying to get the word out there, but of course we can always improve on education and outreach. I agree. And to answer the second part of your question, the Board of Public Utilities by rule doesn't currently allow the utilities to build, own, and operate their own community solar projects. They are private solar developer projects, not owned by the utility, but we put the power back out into their grid. And if, for example, there needed to be an upgrade to the grid in order to connect our power in, the onus would be on us. We would have to pay for the upgrade to the grid in that area, and we have done that. So that's on the solar developer, not on PSE&G.
So the bottom line is, the more people that get involved in this, right, the lesser the value of this is going to be?
No, you're still going to get the savings for
So I'm
this
saying
project.
you're locked in on a certain amount of people. That's what I'm going at.
For each project, but every year, the Board of Public Utilities, as the program is currently laid out, will be approving new projects in each utility. So let's say you decide to sign up for community solar 3 years from now, there will, as it's currently laid out in the program, be new projects in 3 years that are being built either in Delran or throughout PSE&G's utility territory. We're just speaking to what is currently true and available today. But of course, the Green Team and the Mayor and Council will continue to share any new projects in the near and distant future.
35%, can I leave this one and go to the next one?
To answer your question, if you can move around projects, the short answer is you can cancel at any time for any reason. But the utility and the program won't allow you to be on 2 projects at the same time. So folks that have tried to move around projects, it does get a little funky on the utility end. So if that's something you choose to do in the current or far future, I would recommend that you wait some time to make sure you're fully canceled before you try enrolling for a new project, because if you try to enroll for 2 different projects at the same time, it'll be blocked on the utility end. So we recommend if you're receiving savings, especially since there is limited capacity for each project, we recommend staying on a project if you're having a positive experience, but of course you can cancel at any time that you choose for any reason. Well, last question.
Projecting forward right now, is 25%. Okay. Now, do you have any other projects that give you 35%?
So with the GT Delran invite code, it's at least a 25% savings, but the community solar discount rate for our projects ranges from 25 to 31% in Delran.
So I can jump on somebody else's, let's say in Willowboro, who's higher, that you're offering. That's what you're saying? I don't have to be in Delran, I can go to another town?
Absolutely. You can sign up for a different project in PSE&G's territory. But go ahead.
Given there's availability, and I would just say if you see a higher discount, feel free to contact us first to see if if we have a spot open on a project with a higher, so it could be a little bit easier transition. But like she mentioned before, if you do hop on another project, which you're completely free to do so, you might have a 2 to 3 month lag where you don't get any community solar credits because you're not allowed to be on those two projects at the same time, and it requires you to be completely canceled from your current project.
Do you have a map of best return?
So the Delran residents are learning about these 3 projects first, so you're the first that are able to enroll to these. But I think I definitely want to save time for us to help folks enroll up here at the front. So we are more than happy to continue answering questions after individually, since everyone might have a bit of a different question on a case-by-case basis for your experience. But I just want to thank everyone for coming out tonight, again to the mayor and council and the Delran Green team for their continued education and outreach. We partner with many municipalities, and again, it's completely voluntary. And if you have any questions beyond this evening, please reach out to us. But it's a pleasure to continue sharing this information and not only benefiting these businesses and our environment, but also bringing down your PSE&G bill for those interested.
Thanks, everybody. They'll be here for questions.